Good morning. Welcome to Keeping It Real with Marie and Lionel. How are you folks this morning? Lionel over there, how is it for you?
Oh, thankful for the showers that we receive. Good morning, all. Good morning, one and all. I forgot my manners. Manners maketh man, um,
Yes.
and child, uh, yes, and woman, and country. Um,
Yes.
yeah, so Beijing rules. The showers have been a blessing. Uh,
Yes.
they were heavy. They were
Mm-hmm.
continuous. Had a heavy shower this morning,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm thankful for those showers to wash away the grime and the dirt, the ash residue from the leaves of the trees, the
Mm-hmm.
guttering, the drainage systems and so forth. Even though our honorable prime minister said that she doesn't want the ash going into the drains, but nature always takes its own course,
That's
despite
true.
what humans intervention may be exposed. So a quiet but a thankful, really blessed weekend for me.
Lovely, lovely. And I hope you like my attire this morning.
Well, it is morning. They have a reason for the hat. So, and I know that you're like I am bushy tailed. So so that means that you're well awake. You might be in dreamland, but you're well awake.
Very much so, very much so. Notably, we have the celebration of Father's Month, and we would have celebrated you last week, um, Monday, when we had Akeem roll on with us last week
Mhm.
Monday, and you were our first father that we recognized because we can't forget our host, our co-host Lionel.
Thank
So
you.
I must say we have to put a little tick on that and tell us what it is to be a father. What your thoughts are on being a father. Then I'll let the folks know what this is all about.
Mm. Well, it's an honor to be a father.
Yes.
It is what Almighty God would have ordained us to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, it's a family circle, a cycle that goes on and on, passed on from traditions. There are things that we learn as a father through what or we would have seen our father do, or uncle, or a male within the family unit.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, there's no tried and tested thing. It's just a love in your heart that you have as a father for your children. And to
Yeah.
that moment when you can hold your son or daughter in your hands, fix that boo boo. Remember my daughter when she fell down and there's a bruise. We used to call it a boo boo.
Yeah.
So memories, but fathers do love their children very dearly.
Yeah.
Uh, not here's the thing: not everyone can be a father either.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's an honor. It's an honor for me to be a father. To know that I've been blessed in order to have children.
Yeah.
The role that I play is always one comforter, one of providing security. Because
Mm-hmm.
a father must protect his children, his
Mm-hmm.
child or his children, a nurturer. But you can't forget the disciplinary aspect of being a father. That's very important.
Yeah.
Uh, a
Definitely.
counselor, being a coach, and being involved in many different aspects of our children's lives. So I feel pretty honored, to be a father. A father is
Oh.
not an easy job, though.
Uh-huh.
It's not an
But
easy job.
as a father, you're considered to be more of a figure that puts discipline in place, that guides, that
Hmm.
should console and be there, have a presence.
Very
So
important.
I think, as a father, you would have seen that role displayed before you by your own father. Sometimes we don't have that extended family created for us where we would have grandfather. So, because most of the time, grandparents pass before we actually have the opportunity to spend that time with them.
Yeah.
Very few persons have those opportunities where we can spend those times with them. But for me, I didn't have my grandfather. I only had my dad. So
Mhm.
it wasn't. I'm not saying I'm missing out on it, but I what I would miss is the history because my grandfather on my father's side is from Guyana, and he would have
Mhm.
come here many moons ago as a pan boiler, and worked at the Andrews factory. So I'm going
Okay.
way, and
Way
I,
back. Yeah,
yeah,
back to the
and
time.
in that era they usually say that they quote unquote brought the best pan boilers into the island of Barbados from Guyana. That's what I was told.
Mhm. Okay.
I'm going with that. I'm sticking
Well,
to my story.
we're one. At the end of the day, we're one Caribbean people.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So commendable to our own Lionel Dawson, and he is recognized as the Father of the Week, which was the 7th of June. And our program will continue to highlight fathers throughout this month. Of course, notably, Father's Day is Sunday coming, right? Now,
And
I
before
said,
you, I have to
uh-huh,
before you go, I have to step into action as a father. Um, as soon as the show, we have completed the show, I have to step into action as a father with regards to one of my children.
there you
Uh,
go.
old as she is, she's still a daughter. She's still
Yes,
that
yes.
little girl running around rather in Pampers and seeing her, grown. So responsibilities would kick
They
in,
never
and
actually end. They
yeah,
never
no.
end. No,
But this
they
this
never
is on
end.
that level. This is on that level where dad, you have to be there. You have to get something done. You have to do X, Y, Z. So
Yes.
I just leave it as that.
And we
Yes.
have one of our followers, Cecil Francis. Thanks you and congratulate you on the role that you continue to play. Lovely. Thank you, Cecil, for that. I'm sure that made part of Lionel's day thus far. Yes?
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
So, another thing we're doing for this month and hopefully onwards, we are trying to highlight small businesses, small entrepreneurs, whatever that may be. And of course, those individuals can contact either myself or Lionel. Visit our Facebook page. You can message Keeping It Real with Mary and Lionel. One of the things we've noticed over this pandemic is that a lot of businesses are now blooming and branching out because a lot of people were sent home and they're thinking of ways of how to make money and stuff like that. And we would have thought, hey, we have our own type of followers and persons who would be interested in certain things. So one of them, and I know Lionel's going to come with something else, which I know he would highlight next month. One of them I have is this beautiful, beautiful, and it's actually silky, it's satin. What we call it a head covering. Like when the ladies go to bed, they want to
Hmm.
put something on their head. This is
Hmm.
actually, the US would say made in America, but this is made in Barbados. Beautiful, nice, and it actually keeps everything in. It's very large and very comfortable, kind of
With
big.
rainbow colors.
Yes, beautiful, isn't it? And it keeps, and makes me look like Matty. You know what I'm saying? But it's actually very nice, and it's made by a beautiful lady by the name of Christine Marie. She makes the mask as well, but she started to venture out a little bit and made these little bonnets. So I said, well, why not try to help these entrepreneurs, with a little advertising? We want We know that things are hard, like everywhere else, and these are young people trying to branch out their businesses. So if anyone is interested, they are at liberty, and we were permitted to give her number out, which we will have streaming at the bottom of our um, page when you get it. But it's 2694404. 2694404. Her name is Christine Murray, and she's starting out with these and the mask as well. So if you need any further details, feel free to call and ask her if she has the mask or the bonnets. I thought this was absolutely wonderful and a very good initiative on her part. And as we would say, made in Barbados.
Yes, I'm seeing that that seems to be the trend now of the bonnets and the satin
Yes.
masks and so forth,
Yes.
and the eye blockers that you normally get when you travel on the plane.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
it seems to be trend. But kudos to all those young aspiring entrepreneurs. Um, you know, keep on pressing forward despite the challenges that you will face.
And of
Um,
course, Lionel, I gave you a joke yesterday, and you thought that I was doing something, and you were shocked when I told you I'm at the barber.
mhm.
So
Yep.
I have this beautiful, beautiful hairdo. I'm trying to keep it natural, African, gorgeous. Isn't it gorgeous? And when I'm ready, I can actually wear it down. Beautiful. A lot of young ladies are getting into doing going natural. You realize a lot of ladies are going natural?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to, keep their hair healthy. They're doing the sister locks. They're saying to themselves, "No, I'm tired of the relaxing, and I'm going to get my hair done and stuff." A lot of people are going to say, "But you have beautiful hair, Mary. Why would you braid it?" Sometimes I too need a rest. I want to get up like Lionel and just go.
Just go. Just
So
go.
this was done by a young lady called Jaleesa Light. Jaleesa Light. So we're going to hail up these two wonderful, beautiful ladies, Christine Murray with the bonnets and Jaleesa Light. 8236686 for Jaleesa. For anyone who is looking to get their hair braided, she does the box. She does all the fancy, intricate hairdos that everybody else wants. I'm very simple. And she knows me to be very, very simple. Um, she's very meticulous when it comes to doing your hair. So that's what I like about Jaleesa. She's excellent in that. So kudos to Christine and Jaleesa for this morning. We've highlighted two young, fresh, new entrepreneurs on the show, and we hope that persons would be willing to assist them with their growing business.
Yeah, Marie, the beauty of being young
Hmm.
and still living at home, is to start a business.
Yes, yes,
Beauty, because one, you don't have rent or mortgage to pay. You
yes,
don't have light water to pay. I have
yes,
groceries to buy because maybe your mother or both parents, mother and father, in the home, so you're basically covered. So I
yeah,
always encourage young persons, if you want to get into business and you're living at home, that's the best place to start.
yes, yes,
You
definitely.
know? So and here's the thing, we have such a long way to go in terms of we're getting there in terms
Yes,
of young individuals and mature individuals as well, adults, getting into some form of entrepreneurship. It's very important, not only for the economy but also for the psyche of our people. What we need is support.
yes,
And
yes.
that support
Well,
could be
you would
from,
know that because
yeah, I would know that.
yourself, you
I'm speaking from
you are
experience.
an entrepreneur, so you know what it's like when you
Yeah.
have to start from the bottom and go up. So you would
Yes.
be a very good example to
Mhm.
continue to keep the young people in a positive path, letting them know, it's not going to be easy. But as you said, once they're home, it cuts the cost on a lot of things if it's a home based business. And then,
Right.
of course, as it starts to grow, you can venture out, but which is a very valid point.
Mhm.
Um, Sadly, every Monday we normally have a special guest, and that today would have been Mr. Mark Lord, the legendary Mark Lord, whom we know to be part and etched into our cultural music aspect in Barbados. Sad to say that his daughter, Carolyn Callender, who resided in Hespitsville, Georgia, passed away in May and was laid to rest on June 9th, which would have been last week, Wednesday. So we have to
Mm.
extend condolences to Mark Lord, and understandably, he would not have been able, has not been able to come on this morning, as he is still in mourning. Um, she had a very good repertoire of individuals who spoke at the funeral. It was live, and I think she had cancer, and I think it's a big blow to many, including her father, because her mother
Right.
Nancy as well passed away from cancer. So, we speak about that from time to time on the show, and we know it's not an easy disease. It hurts in the deepest areas, and we know that it would take some time to heal. But our prayers go out to Mark Lord and his family, and we know that he will be comforted with his family who would be close by here in Barbados, whereas her husband and children, I think she had three sons, will be comforted by those who are overseas in Georgia. So our prayers
Yes.
do go out to him.
Yes. Amen. Condolences to him and his family at this time.
Yeah. So, on another note, the newest centurion, Lottie Germain Bishop. We have another centurion in Barbados, and I'm wondering, is Barbados one of the islands that has the most centurions?
I'm not sure. I know that a couple of years back there were studies that were being done, and we have persons who came in from overseas to look at our centurions, um, and see what was the, if it was genes, if it was the foods that we ate, um, that helped some of our centurions to live this long life. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but we do have I think our oldest was 107,
I
and he had
think so.
cystic.
Yeah, I think he passed away. His funeral was at the gymnasium.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Listen, I have asked God to allow me to live to 100 years old with still my faculties and mobility in place, and then after 100, He can decide what He would do with me. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
how always been my prayer as a young man growing up.
And she worked at the General Hospital, now the Queen Elizabeth Hospital,
Hmm.
for many years in the laundry department. And I can say she may have worked with my grandmother because she worked in that area as well. And it's nice to see that those are the persons who we get our history from.
Yes.
That's a history book in itself. That's
Hmm.
something that we should cherish and appreciate. You have some people out there who treat their family bad and they want to steal their money, they want to steal their property. Sometimes they leave them in the hospital, sometimes they just drop them off at the geriatric. And those things are mean, very, very mean and hurtful. And some very bad stories you hear when it comes to those acts by I mean these are family members.
Yes. Um, Keeping it real, it's not easy to take care of an elderly individual with various complications,
No,
and a lot of times the your, whether it's your family member or your parent, does not want to be in a home. They prefer to be at home.
that's it.
Um,
And I speak from experience, and I can tell anyone that looking after the elderly You yourself need support. It's not
Correct.
an easy task because they go through so many different moods, especially when they start, if they have dementia, and it might not be full blown
Mhm.
dementia, and then the dementia goes to full blown Alzheimer's. I'm telling you, it's not easy.
Yes,
I'll
it's
give you
not
a
easy.
joke, Lionel. I remember a day I was passing my granny, Lord rest her soul, and she's up here. Um, in the morning, just going to the bathroom, and my granny was over my daughter's crib, and I'm wondering what is she doing. I say, Gran, what are you doing? She said she's trying to catch the crabs, and I'm telling her there are no crabs on the crib. She said, yes, there's a crab on the crib. And I was telling, and we started, this is early in the morning, we have an argument. And I'm saying, Gran, there's no crab. And she had taken the bucket from her night chair with pee and trying to go catch these crabs. So my husband walks in and says, okay, Gran, I'm going to catch the crab. And I'm frustrated and fed up. And I say, but I tell her there's no crab. And the mental thing about it is you're trying to help in one way, and then someone else sees the situation differently and realizes, you know what? They're going to be adamant that they see the crab. So just
Correct.
go with the
Correct.
crab.
Because that's their mindset.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's their mindset.
So I know what it is like for some people. They usually go cuckoo, and it's not easy. It's not easy. And I think they need um like special support. Like
Yes.
when you don't get a break. You're there with that person 24/7. I know family friends who have their mothers or their fathers who they're looking after. And from the time you wake up, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, you are starting. You're getting the breakfast ready, you're getting their baths ready, you're changing their clothes, you're giving them the medication. If they have to take insulin for diabetes, you're giving that to them.
Mhm.
And you have to have the little medicine, what you call it, those little things you put the medicine in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Or the organized medicine organizer or something like that. Yep.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
yourself would know that. The difference for
Yeah.
you was your dad was sick,
Yes.
and when
So,
they're sicker,
yep.
it's more weight for you to lift. And I,
Correct.
I really think you need
And
some
there is a
kind of special support.
correct way of lifting as well, so that you don't hurt the person's spine, in fact, and so that you don't hurt yourself as well. Now,
Yes.
the internet is there, um, that you can go
Mm-hmm.
online and see
Mm-hmm.
what's the correct way of lifting.
Yes.
There are books out there, but basically everything basically is online. So, in terms of taking care of an elderly individual,
Mm-hmm.
um, even though you might know certain things to do, you can still go online and be further educated. There's the
Definitely.
Family Planning Association here, the home health through government services. I
Yes.
don't
Home
see anything
Health
wrong.
National Assistance Board.
Nothing wrong with calling them and finding out how best to take care of an area. Maybe, and I'm not subject to correction. Maybe they themselves, National Citizen Board, should be able to be conducting free courses at the community centers as to how to take care of the elderly.
Yeah, that's a very good suggestion.
Mhm.
Excellent suggestion, Lionel, because like you,
Right.
I'm subject to correction. I don't think they have those, um, because we had a helper from the National Assistant Board well, that's prior to me living with her, that
Mhm.
used to come in and mop and clean and wash the wares, that kind of stuff. And they're given different tasks. Some of them
Right.
can be required to cook, some of them can be required to wash, especially if the elderly cannot wash. Um, and one of the frightening aspects is that you really have to make sure that the helper don't do the wrong thing, because I've heard that some of them, hands were kind of light, kind of thing. So if you don't have people who are very strict and conscious of what's happening, they will get away with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And there was horror stories with people carrying away their pension checks. So,
Mm. Yep.
you,
Right.
you have to be kind of wary with that as well. Now, we're going to go a little afar. And that is, I'm not sure if you managed to see the paper with regards to the young teen who was recording George Floyd's arrest and death. She has actually gotten the nod as a is it Pulitzer? Winning a Pulitzer Prize?
Oh yes, I saw a clip of that. Yes, kudos to her, and kudos
Yeah,
to the persons who uh, presented her or thought of her as someone who is deserving of that prize. So kudos to them and kudos to her.
yeah.
She was in the
Found
right
that,
spot at the right time.
yes, I found that was so commendable. And I think that when you sit and think about it, that is really highlighting young people who are doing the right thing.
Yes.
And as you said, at the right time. So, as you said, kudos to her as well. So I'm happy to see something. I don't want to say something good, but an individual is being recognized for doing something good. You know,
Yes.
see something, say something. She didn't just wait to see something and then say something. She actually recorded the whole thing.
Yes.
So you have to commend her on that.
Yeah.
Now,
The thing is, before you go, Marie, thing is that in life we have to understand, and it doesn't always work. But here's the fact: there is a yes and there's a no. There's no mixing of the yes and no,
that's
right?
so true.
So and there is a right and there's a wrong.
Yes.
So as much as person might want to coach and see how, there's only a right and there's only a wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people might want to put an alternative view, but at the end of the day, yeah, alternative. But is your view right or is it wrong? And nature's laws,
Mhm.
all in the end, always takes over.
Mhm. Mhm.
I just want to make that fundamental point there.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. Now, when we talk about making it right and wrong, a big debate has come up, and I know you're good at this, with an individual who has come home. Is it to fight or to I don't want to say start a war, to launch a campaign to lead the Democratic Labour Party? You know, we don't do too much politics here, but I'm just trying to understand, and you may be able to enlighten me,
Hmm.
why the Reverend Guy Hewitt wants to run to lead the Democratic Labour Party. Just enlighten me because I'm at a bit of a loss because they already have a leader. Do they have a stint? Is the time gone or is her time up for election? I thought it was on until the next election. Well, what's really happening? Enlighten
Well,
those who might not understand because I don't.
well, from my perspective, they say that competition is always good.
Oh,
You might have a leader, but you might have an underground leader. So, and in all political organizations, you
mm-hmm.
have different camps. So
Okay.
she would have her camp.
Uh huh.
There's others in his camp that would say, you know what, he might be the best person to manage or to be the leader of the DLP. Um, I mean, I have I won't call his name, but I have an uncle who was a former senator. So
Mm-hmm.
he is on the DLP side,
Mm-hmm.
right? I am on the other side. And then once I was a DLP, like growing up as a teenager, you come
Mm-hmm.
up in the family home. That's what they do in terms of voting for one particular party. So
Mm-hmm.
you follow suit. But when you come of age, you decide within your mind's eye and who impress you, who you feel that need to support. But then you make your decisions as
Mm-hmm.
to which way you would go. But we're keeping it real here.
Yes,
Um,
definitely.
yes. So it appears that from those who are supporting him, and he seems to have had a very good launch at the Hilton Hotel,
Mm-hmm.
uh, that he's at this point, from my perspective, seems to be um, the, the better candidate, in my view, to lead the the LP. He has started off, despite you said that he has no intention of running to be the leader and blah blah and stuff like that. But you know that that's all politics. You just
Mm-hmm.
throw the red meat out there, throw everybody off guard, consult with those persons who are backing you, and then you come out and make a decision and say, hey, these are the people who encourage me, who are backing me in order to,
Yeah, but
um,
weren't these the same people who they were called? They were called the, what was it? The mice. They had a name, because the names that are coming up here: Ronald Jones, who was the Minister of Education; Minister
uh-huh.
of Health, John Boyce; former Speaker of the House of Assembly, Michael Carrington. And the new faces are Paul Gibson. Now, I think Paul Gibson was on another ticket for
Yes,
another party. And
yes.
then we also have the former president of the Young Democrat, Kemar Stewart. Then he
Hmm.
goes on to say in an article that he is not standing against her. He has no intentions to stand against her. Now, I remember these names that were called had to do with, um, I'm trying to remember where they were against the eager 11. Well, all
Hmm.
11 aren't there, but they were against something with, was it Clyde Maskell or, what's his name? The former prime minister,
Hmm.
um, from Del Stewart. But I didn't follow it to a full extent. But do you think the camp right now is seesawing? Well, you.
Yeah, no, no, but you're correct. Because here's a faction within the LP who
Mhm.
sees Reverend Guy Hewitt, the former ambassador to
To
UK,
the UK, yes.
right, as a viable um, candidate to lead the party and um, for the prime ministership. Right?
Mm.
That or not, he would not have been supported. Now, obviously, there's several. Obviously, there's this faction as it relates to the current leader
But why would he
of.
say one thing on one end and then turn around and do something different now? Well, where's the confidence now for the people?
Well, here it is. Politics, you can say one thing and do something else, and then you come with a reason why you did, or then you end up blaming it on somebody's else, who is your, or a group or individual who is inspiring and supporting you to step forward, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So um my feeling is, I believe he have a good chance. He speaks a good game. He speaks well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's very articulate in his speaking. I think there's an article that he wrote in the papers. Can't remember if it was Sunday or so.
Mm-hmm.
But she has a challenge on her hands. I mean, she fought off the DLP. He was soon now. No? He eventually resigned. His name is not coming to mind.
Oh,
Uh,
the bald-headed guy that resigned. Oh gosh, can't remember
it's,
his name.
oh,
George
Christ.
Pilgrim.
Josh Pilgrim. She fought
Yes.
him off, and a couple of others. So, but we
Mm-hmm.
will see. But this, you see, there's a potential candidate, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's a potential candidate. And let me explain
Okay.
that.
Yes. Please do.
Reverend Guy Hewitt,
Uh-huh.
based on the backings that he have had and the launch that has taken place, the article
Mm-hmm.
that he has written in the newspaper, and
Mm-hmm.
his articulate, charismatic way of speaking
Mm-hmm.
ha- has propelled him to the front of the line.
Mm-hmm.
So, grabbing an individual's attention, I'm on the other side. He has grabbed my attention.
Right.
Then I've heard what he has done in UK with regards to the Rennie Rush situation,
Yes.
where he had
Mm-hmm.
to get involved, with the Boris Johnson as well as the Queen.
Hmm.
So he's going to bring a fresh start and a fresh view, all right, to the
Hmm.
DLP politics.
Okay. Okay.
That is going to capture person's attention.
Right.
So, so I believe that the current leader has a very has a fight on her hands. You see, you don't launch like how he has done, um,
Oh,
and at the Hilton Hotel, right? And if you look in the background, you can see the boys and all those standing there and so forth. You don't
yeah,
just
yeah.
launch that just to play games.
No,
So there's a seriousness, and um, we will see how it pans out.
yeah,
But
because,
she has fight on her hands.
well, he says here in an article that they need to renew confidence in the party of the right excellent Arrow Walton Barrow.
Hmm.
They also need to restore democracy, social values, social cohesion, and create opportunities for economic empowerment. It cannot be that our young, unskilled males are faced with the binary choice of drugs or cleaning the public road. Some time ago, the leadership of our country took a wrong turn off the straight and narrow path onto a broad and twisted road. But destruction is not our fate, for we know that the Lord has been the people's guide for the past 300 years. With Him still on the people's side, we have no doubts or fears, the Reverend declared. Now, I
Here's a
smiled.
charismatic leader. Here's a
I
charismatic leader.
smiled because, funny enough, the present prime minister uses that quote quite often. So I was a bit like, wait a minute, he's using a string. It
Mhm.
reminds me of the US politics where, yes, we can. And, they have different brands and stuff like that. But I was
Yeah.
just a little like, oops, hey, you're taking something from somebody now to start off your campaign, because when you're watching somebody else progress and you're seeing, quote unquote, some of the flaws and errors that you made, you're going to pick up something that hits the heart of the citizen, of those constituents.
Yes.
So that's what I was looking at.
Understood. And I have some questions for him.
Yeah, but that's a
Um,
copycat. You gotta come with your own thing, honey. Don't come and give me the same thing that the PM using. Come with
Honestly,
something
but
else.
here's the thing. That's a very key thing within our
National
national
anthem.
anthem, right? So
Yes.
he's right to use it.
I'm not
All right.
saying not, but I'm
Right. No,
saying
here's
he
the
gotta
thing.
come with some form of originality now. He
Okay.
gotta he gotta come different, because the
Agree.
present prime minister
Mhm.
already uses it. So don't take it the same way. She
Of course
using
it
it,
is.
use something else.
But you know what? There's no
Mm.
copyright on that, so any Barbadian can use it. Once it
I,
tickles the
I I am
fancy
not talking about
of the
copyright.
individual,
I ain't talking copyright. I said
she's not
use
exclusive
something
to,
else.
to quote that out of the
Hmm.
national. It's not exclusive in it, so he still has a right, and obviously I believe there's a strategy behind him using it. Now I
Well,
will say
there
right.
is,
Hmm.
but it,
I
it 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 goes in the way
hmm
that how you want people now to receive you, because I'm not saying he's wrong in using the string. Nothing wrong with him using the string, but because with what has transpired over the 2 3 years with the prime minister at the seat, she realized that she had to bring the communities together. And she
yes,
was using
yeah,
that in a way to get people to realize that we've come this far.
and she
So,
did a very good job at it, excellent job at it. Yeah.
so what I'm saying is, and I said earlier, the US said, yes, we can. But then the other former president said, we will make America great again.
And there's so much in
You-
if, there's so much in that um, line, and that's a subliminal message to the whites of America. We're going back to the Jim Crow days, and
All
that is
right.
evident
Yeah,
now. It's
correct.
It played out in the states where they're suppressing voter rights.
Especially
Uh,
in Georgia, especially
Georgia,
in Georgia and
those states
Texas.
that voted overwhelmingly for Biden, which brought out the blacks votes, right? So that statement is so much loaded and a subliminal message to the white supremacists and the racists in these states that everything is being bought. Look at the GOP. The GOP, I mean, I know we touched on a bit on United States politics, but the
Mm-hmm,
GOP has gone bonkers, embracing Trump's lies,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
to win an election in 2024. But
mm-hmm.
they may be surprised. But then again, politics is a very funny game, right? But getting back to Barbados and
Mm-hmm.
the Reverend Hewitt, I have some questions for him.
Okay.
And those questions are, where were you when during the LP 10 years?
Mm.
Where were you when Barbados had 22 downgrades?
Wow.
Where were you when the sewage was in the streets and Barbadians were crying out
Right.
and and tourists were complaining? Where
Mm-hmm.
were you? Where were you when over 5+ thousand Barbadians lose their jobs?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
two in a household.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where were you? Where were you?
Well,
Where the Eager 11 was concerned? Where were you in terms of the Minister of Finance and former Prime Minister's our leadership? So
mm-hmm.
it's okay to come and say XYZ,
Mm-hmm.
but my belief is that the DLP has to apologize sincerely, right, for the 10 years of 22 downgrades, along with economic issues, the pains that we would have gone through,
Mm-hmm.
right? They have to come apologize sincerely and show some form of remorse and put forward their case to the Barbadian public in order for them to be accepted. Again, I'm not saying that they're not accepted to some extent, but
No, you have people who are devoted Democratic Labor Party followers, and they
yeah,
will stick with them to the end. But
well,
your point
unfortunately,
is that in
yeah,
they have to come back in their eye
yeah.
to
Yeah, unfortunately, there's some diehards that no matter, and I even strong believer in Jack must be given his jacket.
yeah,
So diehard that no matter what the individual does or party does, there no, you have to be a man or a woman to say, look, what you are doing is wrong.
yeah,
What you are doing is right. That's giving
yeah.
Jack his or her jacket.
Well, we have the opportunity that we can get the Reverend Guy Hewitt on the show. Reach out to him and see if he would come on the show, and we can have a little debate, journey with him,
Mhm.
and be able to ask those questions that you have proposed and
Okay,
would
and
love to ask.
yeah, and also, where were you in terms of increasing salaries, in terms of cutting salaries? Where were you? We're now hearing your voice, subject to correction, right? And we good to hear him with regards to the Windrush, what role
Hmm.
he played
Yeah.
in that aspect. But there are some questions that need to be asked. So yes, you're a charismatic leader. I like the way how you did the launch. I like the idea. You see, all the articles are the articles that he's not writing in paper. All that is promoting him, his
Yes.
view, where he
Yeah.
wants to go, right? So he's marketing himself to the Barbadian public as well as
Hmm.
the DLP members.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, you can't you can't blame a guy for that. But in order to move forward, he has to look
Hmm.
back at the past. And the DLP
Ah.
is such as that we had 10 years of hardship. There's no question about that. Okay. There's no
Yeah.
first time in history of Barbados 20 21 22 downgrades.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
go ahead.
no, as you said, those are things we have to work harder on, because if you drop back to 22, like West Indies, you've got a lot to do to climb to get back to the top, even to be in the top
Exactly.
10. You know,
Exactly.
Now we're going to head on the West Indies, and
Mhm.
we know that you love politics. Now, help me with this one. NUPW. I am trying to understand that young lady Natalie with what's his name?
Akali
For their
McDowell.
yes, and,
Mhm.
and 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 this general secretary thing. I mean, I think the unions have problems because persons have lost their faith of representation, and that's a fact. They
Mhm.
have lost their faith. They're not in the days of um, Mr. Walcott, Sir Walcott, if I'm correct.
Mhm.
Uh, I
Joseph Goddard. Mhm.
Joe Goddard, and I I I am trying to comprehend because my understanding is that the National Public Workers is for civil servants, and the civil servants at this time may have quite a lot of young individuals in that service, but they're not interested in the union because they're seeing, first of all, that's money up my salary. What are you paying
Mhm.
that for? You ain't doing nothing for me. I want to raise a pay. Standard of living is going up. My salary ain't going nowhere. And when I go to the gas tank, the gas gone up too. When I go in the grocery store, the groceries gone up too. And when you go to the doctor, a visit that was $80 is now 100. Further to that, I don't have any medical insurance. And if I have to go and take that out, that coming up my salary too.
Right.
And even if I do have a medical insurance, the premium's gone up too because the same young people don't want to pay to join any insurance companies for medical purposes. And they're not realizing the importance of medical insurance. When you travel overseas, homie, you need it.
Mhm.
So my thing is this: what's happening with that NUPW?
Um, I think the union and UPW have been through some challenges before. Um,
Before,
yes,
are you
before.
talking about the time of Rosalind Smith?
Yeah, they would have gone through some challenges, but
Okay.
with regards to this current situation,
Mm-hmm.
um, John Maxwell quoted that everything rests on the shoulders of the leader. The buck stops with him or her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's unfortunate that the NUPW is in this predicament. Um, I believe that the current leader, president, I think he works within, I think the health ministry. He's also the president of the thing. I believe that that should be a really full time job.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then, okay, I mean, we don't know some of the inner workings, but they have their laws and their bylaws, and I've heard
Yeah.
some of the union representatives quoting those specific laws that are to be followed.
Okay.
Now, it's alleged out there that possibly he might lose the leadership, and hence the
Mm.
reason why the need to create this position for him, so that he has more, I don't know, control or more things that he can do within that capacity as general secretary. Now, remember, in all organizations, there are different camps. So and it plays out.
So what is
This
he? He's not the general secretary. Who is the general secretary?
right now there is acting general secretary, and all right, his name is not coming to mind.
Okay. Maloney? No.
Walter Maloney.
Walter Maloney. I think he's also somewhere
The,
there.
Waldron. I think it's Waldron. I
Waldron.
think, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's currently the acting general secretary. But is this new post entitled that? It seems that they would like to have Mr. In be
Canny
voted in.
McDowell.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
okay. But there's a process. There is a democratic process and a voting process that union members have to decide who they want to to lead them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yes, the old guard was called with regards to having a meeting to discuss whatever issues that they may have now. And it's something that I think the lady Natalie made some points regards, because during those 10 years, the union was pretty much silent on a lot of
Both
issues,
both
and
unions.
yes, both unions, and that is something that she pointed out. Now, the problem with some of the unions is that
You're
they tend
smiling,
to be
Lionel.
smiling because they tend to be political. We
Hmm.
had, yes,
Wonder why you said that. Why would you
yeah,
say that?
yeah, because we had Sir Truman, who was part of the DLP, and
Mm-hmm.
who was, I believe, he was a senator.
Yeah.
Mhm. And then we have the current leader,
Mm.
who now I think she's a senator, so she's still the
Yes.
general secretary of the BW, and so that can spell issues. And then some of the old guard, uh,
Mm-hmm.
who who were in terms of that DLP camp. So does that tie in that normally create issues? And I know that in terms of Mr. Dowell, Kenny McDowell, he has been fighting some forces externally and also
As well as
internally.
internally. Yeah.
So that would affect uh, a leader's performance in a way. By the end of the day, the buck starts with him because he's the leader.
Right.
Now, for a union, as I think it said 6,000 members, if I'm correct, for a union to be in the 2021 year,
Mm-hmm.
21 20th century, and having you signing checks to pay your staff members, to me, that's a no-no. I'm not sure how many employees that they have within the NUPW itself, that
Mm-hmm.
office.
But
No, that
right
that
now
that needs
everything
to
is
be
done online, so why would you be signing checks? That's paper wasting.
exactly right
So you can do that online.
online. And if you're going to do that, there's a Headman check signing machine that you can set up your check signature, and you can run the checks, uh, salary checks and wages checks through that machine, and people can get paid. But it's better to have it online. Send,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so
And
that's
finish
his
with it.
future. Right.
Yeah.
So from my understanding, he had the president, Mr. McDowell, had proposed that that be done. Now, I do not know, and that obviously hasn't been done. So,
Mm-hmm.
is it that he's being blocked for that to be done? Uh,
Mm. So
why hasn't it been
that's the
done?
internal thing now.
The
That's
internal thing,
internal.
right?
Right.
So he was
Okay.
being blocked, and he still has to sign. Well, then you go the technology. The other technology is using. Well, I said Headman check signing machine because that's a product that I used to sell and market. So hence
Mm-hmm.
the reason why I'm speaking from knowledge of
Experience.
experience.
Right.
So now they will say that you should not come and wash your dirty linen laundry
Laundry. Yeah.
in public. But I
Mm-hmm.
believe that to have a better understanding, because public opinion is very important,
Definitely.
to have a better understanding of some of the challenges that he is facing and has faced, maybe he needs to come and speak about certain things.
Yeah.
For sure, he has a supporter in Miss Marie,
Mm-hmm.
right? And a very strong supporter. So the internal workings, internal issues, we may not know,
Mm-hmm.
but we have 130 something individuals who have signed a petition.
Petition.
He has support.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
David East made a very valid point when he interviewed on Brassats last week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when David Ellis said, "Well, you were very quiet. You haven't really been hearing anything from the NUPW." The Bible says that you can't serve two masters. You will love one and despise the other.
Amen. Amen.
Hence the reason why I'm saying, and they said that women are better at multifunction than multitasking than men, right?
I could prove that.
Okay. Um, I think that that should be a full-time job to focus on the union's business and not to be involved in other activities that distracts you from the fundamental things of carrying out your program for a year. I'm not sure how long you're supposed to be there at elections every year, what have you. But you
Yeah.
can't serve two masters. You will love one and
No,
despise the other.
that's right. That's right. That's right. That is so true. But
Mhm.
I think hopefully they have it resolved because I heard that they had to get the police and all of this to remove her. I thought it went way beyond something of such nature. I didn't think that it needed to go that far. But
Agree. For someone who has sat in on union meetings in terms of representing my former employer and being part of those meetings, with regards to employees breaking the company rules and so forth, meetings can become very heated.
oh yeah, I know.
Um,
I've sat on some too.
right, right, can become very heated. So and also being someone who was also represented by the NUPW at some point in another life that I had. Meetings can become very, very heated, very, very hostile. And
Hmm.
being as it is now with regards to the NUPW, there's a lot of maybe hatred, there's a lot of animosity. The old guard fighting the
New
new
guard.
new guard, and there will be a
Hmm.
conflict. Well, there needs to be a compromise. This is where everything rests on leadership.
Yeah.
Have a meeting to resolve the issues and have a mediator in there as well. I know that, and I believe that the NUPW has it. You have
Hmm.
Sir Roy as a consultant to the BWU, right? And they do have that. Hence, I guess hence the reason why the old stewards came back or were called back to a meeting. But at the end
Yeah.
of the day, there will always be this conflict of the older generation and
Hmm.
younger generation. So you're saying that even in the liberals and the conservatives within the Democratic Party within US, the same thing applies here. So
Hmm.
President McDowell might have some ideas that he would like to take the union forward, and I believe that that one with regards to salaries going to the bank. He might have other ideas, and he should be able to come. I know there was something about a club. The union had discussed a club so that the union members can have better pricing in terms of buying things, purchasing things wholesale. I have not heard anything else where that is concerned. But I think the onus is on leadership to, to chart the course for the union, and nothing wrong with making those things public.
All right. I agree.
Nothing at all, right? Because the union needs to move forward,
Be more open. Let
be
let
more
those
open.
members and hopeful new members see why the unions are there because they're
Correct,
really supposed to be there of service to represent the people.
correct.
I think that's where
Mhm.
things have gone a little wayward when it comes to the union.
Yeah, and
Like
he has
most
been
people,
silent. He has been silent. Uh,
yeah.
uh, unless where the relevant guy here is concerned, maybe Makani McDowell probably needed to be writing some articles about unionism in the newspapers. That is also a
Okay,
marketing tool for him. Educate
definitely.
and those who will be interested in joining the NUPW, right?
Yeah,
Have
yeah.
articles in the paper showing them the benefits of being part of the union.
I can tell you. Well, and we have to keep God in everything we do. That's
Oh
one
yes,
thing we have to remember. So
Well,
we
amen.
also have to give congratulations to the new Bishop of the Roman Catholic Diocese of
Mhm.
Bridgetown, Neil Sebastian Canterbury. I think he was, is it sworn in? What is it? Um,
Ordained.
Appointed, ordained on Friday. So he comes to a new seat 2 days after, because church would have been yesterday. And we wish him well. We hope that,
Mhm.
his journey within this new capacity, this new hat is very good. On another note, and I know when we see the season has started, and we're hoping that more things are going to open up to give us a little freedom. There people are talking about crop over. They want to know when they can do this. Um, People are following this thing called the stay home party. You have you ever seen the stay home party
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I have seen some raucous behavior
behavior? Yeah.
that I am not impressed, and that is a culture. You see, part of the problem is when media promotes that type of behavior, right? Yes, we know that there's always a subculture, but
Hmm.
when media promotes that type of behavior for any form of censorship, right? It leads to a lot of ills within society.
Society.
We can look at the United States, we can look at Jamaica, you know. So I think that those in authority needs to be more responsible, right? In terms of promoting events like that. And that's, yeah, yeah, maybe not a bad idea and a concept, but when it goes out of hand in terms of type of um, dancing that you would see in
Dancing. Yeah.
hall and stuff like that, to me, that I'm not
But
I'm not a
But
sport
don't
of
you
that.
think that the person who is directing that program should tell their camera person, don't pull that scene and put it on CBC? I
Well,
don't care how late it's on at night. Don't pull that scene to bring it on TV. It does not fit in, or I should say, it does not fit in with the representation of what CBC stands for. That's if you yes, it's culture, but the
Mhm.
type that they're bringing out on the television. I mean, and somebody said, but wait, they're giving people more stay home parties than the religious community. But the religious community only had one show.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
had more
Well,
stay home
well,
parties than anything else. And
and this,
what you see is nothing really.
yeah. Um, Someone I mentioned, I mean, I took a look at it, but I turned off the TV afterwards because they said that's not my thing, and I know that culture leads to violence. It leads to the raucous behavior that you have seen. Jamaica is a
That
good
being portrayed. Yeah.
yeah, good example. And in my opinion, my view, and I keep it real, it is not who we are. you
Definitely
know,
not.
know who we
Definitely
are.
not. No.
And I don't know if they have a protocols in place in terms of a written document signed by DJs and even the live streaming of persons posting their videos and stuff like that. But there has to be some form of control.
Yeah.
But the thing is about the home party, they're gonna have sponsors. They're gonna have sponsors,
Mm-hmm.
which they have. Um, the more question is, those sponsors, is that who they are? Is that part of their brand? Do they want their brand to be associated with that type of behavior? And touching on that, I want to, and if I have to see uh, uh, Mr. Williams, I would simply say to him, and I'll keep it real: you made the right decision when you pull your sponsorship from Lightpipe. But to come back, and I understand his point. He should have had a meeting with him,
Yeah.
let and find out his thinking and his reason behind what he did. Blah blah. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure worldwide in the states when artists steps out of line and sponsors pull their thing if they have conversations with them at all. It might be in their contract. I'm not sure,
Mm-hmm.
but to come back and you said that yes, you should have had a meeting with him, and you renege on that, and you want to have a conversation with him in order to go through a new sponsorship or what have you. No, I disagree with Mr. Williams on that aspect, and I said if I have to meet him face to face, I would say that. And my reason is you have made a decision with regards to your brand, right?
Yeah.
Publicly stick to that decision,
Yeah.
because what you open the door to, you say, okay, let's look at it. You want to, then the individual that came back and two other sponsors took him up. To me, that was also, yeah, but anyhow. So
But where the line you're going on, you mentioned the US. There
yeah.
was a country star by the name of Morgan Wallen. He had just hit the limelight. He just hit the mark and was starting to win all of the awards with in Nashville.
Mhm,
And he came out and used a derogatory slur. It was a racial slur. And from then on, from the time the video went, what's the term, viral,
mhm.
all of his sponsors, all the things that he got just went, everything, even going on the radio, his music was pulled from the radio stations, everything went. And just, I don't even want to know if it is 1 second. He was on
Because
the top. He was on
mhm,
the top. And I think his hit song was Whiskey Glasses.
mhm.
He was, as you know, had all the Nikes, the hats or whatever he had. And before you knew it, his music was off the air. They pulled all the different, um, when they had to go and do interviews and all of that. He lost it all one time.
Right, because they take their sponsorship of an artist or an individual very seriously, and any
Yeah.
breach of contract they pull. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
so to me, you made a decision, stick to that decision. Now,
Yes.
there's always, okay, the victims say, oh, well, they brought in these different artists and da 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 stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that there has to be a standard where there's going to be no, same way that there's no smoking weed on stage and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
There have to be things in place where there's no lewd lyrics,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, United States versus Billie Holiday
Yeah.
and Strange Fruit. Okay, United States government was after Miss Billie Holiday because she was singing Strange Fruit, and and those are listeners, you should watch United States versus Billie
Versus
Holiday.
Billie Holiday.
Yes, very
Definitely.
very good,
Very good
movie.
film.
Yeah, and I'm not too sure she won any awards, but she should have won. So she acted extremely well. The reason
No.
why the reason why the United States government, in terms of the agencies, federal
Mm-hmm.
agencies, was after her. Yes, she was a drug user. Yes, they had this war on drugs. Yes, they wanted to find out who were the persons that were supplying her.
Mm-hmm.
But Strange Fruits were, that song was about lynching black people.
People.
And I think it's Hoover who was saying that that's un-American for her to be singing that song. A couple of
Mm-hmm.
times she was arrested, she was taken off the stage, da 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 da. Eventually she sang the song. Okay. And you can look up Strange Fruits by Billie Holiday, that song.
Yes.
When you listen to that song, it touches your inner soul, your
So
inner and understand of what those persons, a lot of the images would have gone through. But
mhm.
that song is in nowhere any comparison to the song that was sang in terms of Trojan rhythms. And if persons really listen to Trojan rhythms, they would see the artists who are singing these songs from their words. And words matter. Words matter. Words
Definitely. It
matters,
tells you what the person's mind is all about as well.
right? So you talk about artistic, but persons are losing their lives as relates to gun violence.
Hmm. I think Kid Sight said in an article that they've been singing songs like that, and it's an artist or something like that. I didn't know if it merits even mentioning him in that context, because he has to realize also as an artist and a cultural person himself that people take these things serious, and it's important that we realize how what children hear and see affects
Correct.
them, because they're like sponges. So we still have to take into consideration those things.
Yeah, and
um,
we don't want to become another United States. We do not
no,
want to, right, where gun violence is concerned. We don't
no,
want to become another Jamaica where gun
no.
violence and gangs and all that is concerned. I remember there was a um uh at AG who said that there were no gangs in Barbados, and then there were. So this thing
And
has
we
not
still
only,
have them.
yeah, this goes way back. And one of the worst things is for persons in authority to really deny or play down some of these serious things that has been going on in the country, because it gets worse.
Yeah, definitely,
In
definitely.
Belgian parlance, it gets worse or
Yes,
what,
but
you know.
don't let us go there in Beijing Parline, because we're gonna go shortly. But we want to touch on something because it get worse with the West Indies.
Well, I
The
saw
West
watching
Indies.
cricket. Forget for a
I
long time.
know,
I watched
but
2020.
the West Indies lost their first Test match against a team who has not been back to the West Indies since 2010. And this team, I don't want to say racist, but this team used to be predominantly black. South
Mhm.
Africa. Now, come on. People make a whole hocus pocus about selection of players. Then they come back and tell us that these people aren't fit to play. Then all of a sudden, you're seeing these persons in the team play.
Mhm.
They switch the captain because they say the captain, this one was better, and this one, they put figures up and tell us that this body was doing this better and that body was doing that better. I mean to say, once you take the captaincy from somebody, they tend to perform better anyhow. But even when they had the captaincy, he was one of the, I would say, better captains that really put his best foot forward. I think he had more draws than losses. I don't know, but
Well, unfortunately, Mary, the West
unfortunately,
Indies, yes, the West Indies selectors and administration, they have a history of changing out captains. You
mm,
know,
is it
um,
political?
uh, maybe. Unfortunately, some of these guys don't even get to settle in as a captain.
But
You
that's
know,
it. Now you're gonna tell me you're gonna give me 97 for the first innings and get bowled for 162. So for Africa only put 322 on the board.
yeah, West Indies cricket has been failing over the years, and sometimes I wonder, okay, this guy's a captain, but who's mentoring him?
Ah,
Do you have Richards? Do you
we
have
don't have no old crows in there.
right?
And
Because
if I
mhm,
remember, and you can correct me, I think when you had, say, you had Courtney Walsh, Curtly
mhm,
Ambrose. The old guys were in the team because Walsh was a captain at one point in time as well. But when you had the old guys in and the young boys behind, they were able to be there to see and say, I suppose, if they're going wrong and who they want to be slipped. So, as you say, mentor. They had somebody there
yeah,
that when I leave there and I retire, I have left it in the hands of somebody good.
yeah, succession, yeah, succession, and unfortunately, I'm not too sure that that has been happening. There is
Yeah.
always chopping and changing where the team is concerned, whether it's a coach, whether it's a manager, whether
Mm.
it's a player. you know. So to me, that whole thing needs to be
Re-
revised.
re- Revamp.
Yeah,
Well,
revamped. Yeah.
they're going to be playing on Friday, on the 18th, at the same venue, at the Darren Sammy National Cricket Stadium in Grosvenor, St. Lucia. The game starts at 10 a.m. This is
Hmm.
their second test, and after that, they're going to have their T20s. They're going to have five T20s, but they're going to be moving from St. Lucia to Grenada. So we'll see how it goes because I think after South Africa, they're going to be having Pakistan. So we will wait and see how it goes on on that turf because, like most of us, I think one of the greats, Michael Holding, does not particularly like T20, and I think his main aim is that it's taking away individuals from the true nature of the game, which is Test cricket. A lot of the players that we anticipate to really see play Test cricket have now migrated into T20. I think my hubby was making a point the other day in that we don't even see people like Kieran Pollard in Test cricket. He's mainly for T20.
Right.
Um, we
Well,
also
there will
get
be some players who are 2020, and there'll be some test players. And you just need to distinguish who is who.
correct, and I think that is because when they start to play cricket, they tend to pick up and learn the shorter version of the game and not necessarily the longer version of the game.
Hmm.
So then you will have the older folks like myself and yourself following Test cricket along with the 50 overs match. We would
Right.
follow the T20 because it's shorter and quote unquote fun.
Like
It-
baseball,
yeah,
you
it's
curve that.
really, yeah,
It's
it's just
that true calypso cricket. If I should say that.
calypso cricket. Well,
Calypso cricket.
be that as it may, but I mean that's how it is right now. So
Mhm.
Friday, the 18th of June, we're going to see what the West Indies is going to pull out. Um, their coach, Phil Simmons, he went about and saying that the batting was at fault. There was no preparation.
Mhm.
So the first innings, I can't remember how much Ross and Chase got. He got a few, but then he came back in the second innings and had the highest runs, of course, off of a lot of balls. I think it was 100 and something balls. But the game of Test cricket is really to be able to stand your ground, be able to pick that ball, be able to concentrate on the expected bowling, and be
Yeah.
able to see for themselves, okay, you can bowl something to me, and my anticipation on the next ball will be this. You know, um, I think the males would say that they have bad shot selections,
Actually.
so when they should be playing, as my husband would say, or anybody, they should be playing the front foot. They're backing up and opening up to the bales, you know. And I'm a novice. I sound like a pro talking, but
But
I,
you know what? Forget me. Go ahead.
I think these guys really to need to sit and watch their competitors because their competitors are looking to see what they're doing, to see
Yeah.
how they're going to play. And they know, okay, well, I'm going to bowl them a googly. I'm going to bowl them something that on the wide, towards the slip that they're going to reach for the ball, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. So I think that's what the other coaches, aside from Phil Simmons, that are there to do with the batting and the bowling, should be telling them. Let them
Yeah.
know that their competitors are watching them. Those people are eating and sleeping cricket.
Cricket. Yes. And Mari, the other thing is this: is that in terms of the association, the coaches, and you mentioned in terms of watching their competitors,
Mm-hmm.
so they should be able to, let's say a particular bowler, they should be able to have statistics on that bowler as to where he drops the ball, whether it's on the leg side or the off stump
Mm-hmm.
or in middle, what have you. Statistics should
Mm-hmm.
show, okay, well, in his bowling, and in this over or that over, he bowls three outside the off stump. he bowls a
Yes.
swinger, he bowls a
Hmm.
Yorker, and those
Yes.
are it's and whether it comes on the first ball, the second ball, the third ball, or the sixth ball,
Hmm.
those are
Hmm.
should be there, and how he gets individuals. So I know that Holder left the ball and it came back in and
And hit the stumps.
yes, before
Yeah.
me thought that was going over, but those statistics are very and be interesting to find out if if the Western is um, uh, if they have that those type of statistics
Hmm.
that the players know, right? What
Right.
is the batsman? What is the bowler?
Hmm.
Um, and these are things that should be known. That should not be hidden.
No.
I believe that there should be a minimum of 30 maybe to 50 runs for a cricketer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It should be that standard set that if you continue and consistently go below, let's say 30 runs, and if you are being coached and being trained and there's no improvement, well, then you bring in someone.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, just a whole
And we don't
football.
have any specialists. We
Right.
used to have people who specialize in a certain
Desmond Haynes
part of the
and
game.
yeah, Desmond Haynes and Gordon
Malcolm
Greenidge
Marshall.
are two opening batsmen. Who are the opening
Yes.
batsmen that,
But
that we have?
we don't have no opening batsmen. We have
That's
closing batsmen. Closing batsmen.
it's
Anyhow,
important. Yes.
it's truly unfortunate for that. So we're gonna see what happens on Friday the
Mhm.
18th of June, 10 a.m. Hopefully people go to the screen and watch them, but we know what it's going to be like. I will wait and see what's going to be happening on Friday.
Yeah. And
So,
all those who watch tennis on Sunday, excellent game.
oh,
Djokovic. Yes. So I just want to put that
yes.
there.
No, then you have to plug that because I think I saw that on the news. You felt
Mhm.
as if you were the one on the court playing, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I was ready and raving to go and play tennis, but yeah, my buddy is nursing an injury.
Oh dear, young people
Yeah.
like you shouldn't have injuries. So we
Yeah.
want to remind folks out there, for
Hmm.
those individuals who want to acquire this lovely bonnet, they can contact. If I don't know if they can see it, beautiful
I can see it.
Christine Marie, 2694404. Look at the streamer. And you can also contact Jaleesa Light, 8236686, for having your hair coiffed, having it beautifully done in braids or box braids or whatever. Give them a call. These are young ladies who are starting their home based businesses, and I'm sure they'll be happy to hear from you. And of course, Lionel has a little plug for those who have been following.
Yes, we would like you all to follow us on Facebook. Like us. We
Hmm.
also ask to follow us on YouTube as well.
Yeah, yes.
Click on the notification bell so that you can be notified of our next show and spread the word. Spread the
Yeah,
word. Spread the
yes.
word. I said word, but word. Spread the word throughout the
Word to the
world.
world.
World. Yeah. That there's this show keeping it real with Marie and Lionel. Yeah. So
Yes.
there, we have some. Unfortunately, our condolences again to Mark Lord, but we will have
Yes.
him on the show
At
again.
another day.
We
Yes.
have our guests from throughout the world, local, Caribbean, and there's some great things that we have
In
um,
store.
in store. So next show, you will hear of some of those great things. So stay tuned.
Yes. And we
Mary.
will be having on Monday, right after Father's Day, the Honorable Kirk Humphrey. So, folks, tune in and we hope to see you all. We ask you to continue to be safe. Remember your mask wherever you go, sanitize, and always remember, pick up the phone and call a friend. Just hearing your voice will probably make their day. So, to all of you, as we would say, ta da and bye bye.